show. Step off.
Come on, won't you say it loud? Ayo, we gon' turn this out. Tom Clark's main event. Dropkick now and powerbomb. Ayo, bro, let's bring this on. Hey, hey, what is up? Oh, captain, my captain, show the stuff. Power slam and suplex too. Hot garbage is just for you. Big breaker, cut a cold red. Figure four, hot times ahead. Since 2014, it's on. It's a 10 count, but stand up strong. Hey kid, no DQ. Strong style, chop, this is how it goes. Tom Clark's main event. Tom Clark's main event. Tom Clark's main event. Tom Clark's main event.
Hey, what's up, kids? Welcome back to the program. Tom Clark here with you on a Friday. It is 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. As promised and delivered, here we are, back on the show. Hope you guys have had a great week. As people start to come into the room here, I will remind everyone, if you will, please smash the like button. And if you will, share this on your Facebook feed, as well as your Twitter, or your X, as the kids now call it. Your LinkedIn, your Instagram, wherever you can share it. Even share it on Blue Sky. Is anyone on Blue Sky? I've been on Blue Sky for a while now, and there's not a lot of stuff happening on Blue Sky. I like the platform quite a bit, but there's typically not a lot of action there. If you will, kids, again, smash the like button for me. Share this feed. Share this on your feed wherever you can, if you will. I would greatly appreciate it. That made loads to me. And we've got a lot to get into here today. A lot of stuff to talk about. Things that are happening today and this week in the world of professional wrestling. And I hope you guys are ready to talk about it. We're going to get into it here very shortly. Let's get everything on the screen that we need to get on the screen. Yes. And get everything going. There we go. We are officially branded, and the ticker is ticking at the bottom. If you have never watched the video portion of this show and you're listening to the audio after the fact, then you're missing out, because you get to see pasty white Tom in his black shirt once a week, giving you the latest on pro wrestling. So there you go. I know, it's awesome. I hear you, but yeah. Again, thanks everybody for tuning in. We're getting off to a slow start here this week, but no worries at all. This is what happens sometimes. Not a problem. We will pick up some folks as we go, I'm sure. But again, if you will, kids, please smash the like button for me. And let's get this thing shared around as much as we possibly can. That would be wonderful for me. I'd greatly appreciate it. Starting off here today, I'm curious, what is it that you guys have been watching this week? What have you been enjoying? What have you been into? How's your week been? What are you guys up to in terms of, is anyone doing vacations out there right now? I haven't been anywhere in years, to be honest with you. Well, I shouldn't say that. Not on an actual vacation. I've been places for work, but that's about it, right? But yeah, that's kind of all I've been doing. But yeah, I'm just curious to see what everybody's up to. I know we had the July 4th week and it was slow out there. Everyone out there doing their thing, which makes perfect sense to me. But I'm just curious if anybody out there's, if you got anything planned this summer. Summer's almost over. Kids are going back to school in a couple weeks, man. So we'll see how that plays out. My kid's going into 10th grade. That kid's just getting older and older and older by the day, man. Can't stop him. Just going to keep on growing. I'm not happy about it, but what can I do? I can't exactly put a rock on his head and stop him, can I? Look, let's go ahead and get started here today. Let's say a couple of hellos before we go any farther. Let's see. Brienne, good to see you, my friend. Maria is here. Both you guys, thanks much for tuning in. We will have some more folks here showing up presently. But yeah, lots of stuff to get into here today. Again, thanks very much for hanging out with us, kids. If, again, you are listening after the fact, thanks much for subscribing. Thanks for downloading. This is episode 341, as you can see on the ticker at the bottom. We are 9 weeks away from episode 350. It's a big time for us, man. So I'm very much looking forward to that. So again, thanks everybody for being here today. Lots of stuff here to talk about. As we said before, we hope you guys are ready, and we're going to go ahead and give it to you here today. Brianne's already talking about blood and guts. Yeah, it was Oh, don't anybody ruin Deadpool and Wolverine for me. I have not seen it yet. Please don't ruin it for me because that would suck. All right. So, yeah, I appreciate you guys. And I heard it's awesome. So, I'm sure it is. I'm a big Marvel guy. If you know the 6M podcast, you know we talk about Marvel quite a bit on that show. So, yeah, I'm in the bag for that brand. I've been a comic book kid for years. I still am. So, yeah, nothing wrong with that. But again, don't ruin it for me because that would suck. So, all right, folks, let's go ahead and get this thing kicked off today. Blood and Guts, you did mention it. We can talk about it a little bit more here shortly. I just got caught up on all things AEW today. Heck of a match. Blood and Guts hardly ever disappoints. I don't think it's ever. This is the fourth one, I think. It's never disappointed. I'm a big fan of it. And to anyone saying Okada doesn't fit in, that he's sticks out like a sore thumb, it's not working. You're entitled to your opinion, but I happen to love Okada, and I think that things are going very well for him right now. And that Tennessee crowd blew the roof off the place when his music hit. It just goes to show all this talk about, Okada won't be able to rebound and what's he going to do? How they're going to recapture the magic that the Rainmaker had in Japan. Come on, man. He is still over. People still love him. And yeah, it's I think he's going to be just fine. He's going to be just fine. Maria says she's not spoiling the Deadpool and Wolverine movie that's better than Endgame. Boy, that is high praise. That is high praise because Endgame is the epitome of what a great movie is. That movie is perfect to me. It's a perfect film. It's the definition of a perfect film. So if I feel that way about Deadpool and Wolverine, that'll be even better. So we'll see. Let's get this thing kicked off today, kids, with G1 Climax results. How many of you are caught up with the G1? Raise your hand. I am. I'm so proud of myself for being caught up on the G1. This never happens. Anyone who's ever followed the main event for any period of time can tell you that around this time every year, I always take to the air and say the same thing. I'm behind. I got to get caught up. I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm going to have to binge. I'm going to have to stay up all night. But not this time. I am so caught up, it's not even funny. I'm quite proud of myself. And I'm going to tell you something. If you do not subscribe to NJPWworld.com, I understand. Times is tight. Everybody's on a budget. So am I. I totally get it. But, buddy, if you enjoy pro wrestling and you can spend $10 a month on it, I encourage you to do so because it is so worth your investment if you're a pro wrestling fan. The G1 Climax, again, no Mox. Tanahashi's not in it. No Danielson. I mean, there's no Osprey. I get it. It's lacking in terms of overall star power. No Jay White. I totally understand. However, at the same time, there have been some top-notch matches in the G1 so far. So if you've not checked it out, again, I highly encourage you to do so. But let's run down. Let's see. We've had 4 nights. 4 nights, and I'm caught up. I'm so proud of myself. Night 5 is actually coming on July 27th. That's the 5th night of the tournament. So let's go over this real quick if we can. Night 1 is in the Osaka Professional Gym in Namba, Osaka. We had Oleg Boltin defeating Ren Narita. They kicked off the match in a B block. Kicked off the show in a B block match. Excellent match, by the way. Oleg Boltin has really come a heck of a long way. He's out of the black gear now. He's no longer a young boy, I assume. And he's winning matches now against talent, not just other young boys. So good on him. Remember, you heard it here. If you've heard it anywhere, Oleg Boltin is going to be somebody in this business. I promise you. I promise you. You're going to be hearing about this guy for years to come. If he stays healthy and he keeps getting better and keeps improving his game, you're going to be hearing the name Oleg Boltin for a long time. Cal Newman defeated Shota Umino by pinfall for the A block. And the block's just a flip-flop here, kids, so keep that in mind. NRA defeated El Fantasmo. Great match, by the way. Zack Sabre Jr. defeated the Great O'Khan. Great O'Khan, people have issue with Great O'Khan. I love Great O'Khan. I have no issue with this guy at all, honestly. You know what you're getting into with the Great O'Khan match, but it was very much out of ZSJ's comfort zone in terms of taking it out to the crowd, and the commentators pointed that out. Good job on that call. But I actually really enjoyed this. I love Great O'Khan, actually. Jeff Cobb defeated Hiroki Goto. Really good match. Jake Lee, who I have mixed feelings on, by the way. I like him. Don't know if I love him just yet. Jury's still out for me. Defeated Sonata in 4 minutes and 57 seconds. Think about that, kids. Sonata is a former IWGP World Heavyweight Champion, beaten in under 5 minutes. That's a big deal. If that had happened in the States to a former world champion, you'd have fans, lighting torches and grabbing their pitchforks to storm the castle. I'm telling you. But, in Japan, in a tournament like the Climax, there's got to be winners and losers, man. That's how they look at it. Yuya Uemura defeated David Finlay. That was a surprise, right? But again, excellent match. Evil defeated Gabe Kidd. Gabe Kidd's the man. Evil, maybe not so much. If you've seen one Evil match, you've seen them all. No disrespect to the guy at all. It's just that he has a very specific pattern and routine that he follows, and all the outside interference is always present, right? You just come to expect that with the House of Torture. It is what it is. Konosuke Takeshita and Yota Tsuji absolutely tore the house down. If you missed that on night one, you missed a heck of a pro wrestling match. It was utterly fantastic. It was everything I thought it would be and then some. And it was the second longest match of the night at 17 minutes, 14 seconds. In your main event, Shingo defeated Tetsuya Naito in the A block. Naito's IWGP World Heavyweight Champion. I got thoughts on that. That's why I've always kind of not been against, but I kind of protest putting your world champion into the Climax tournament, because when he gets beaten, and he will, you're like, well, did that mean the champ can just lose a belt any old time? Is that what that means? It's kind of an odd thing, right? So yeah, that's kind of things I've always been for me, I've kind of always pushed back against. So I'm not real sure. Night two, Sonata out the gate in 8 minutes and 41 seconds it took him to defeat Callum Newman. Storyline, you get it. Excellent match, by the way. Callum Newman is going, again, he's going places too. He's kind of got Ospreay's look now, but he's trying to come into his own. I think he's on his way, put it that way. NRA defeated Oleg Boltin. Hard hitting match, brother. Let me tell you that right now. 8 minutes and 7 seconds. Gabe Kidd defeated Great-O-Khan by pinfall. And, it's, and honestly, I may have gotten a Gabe Kidd and Great-O-Khan on the wrong night there. Did I? I'm sorry. Zack Sabre Jr. defeated Great-O-Khan. See how they run in together, man? But Gabe Kidd defeated Great-O-Khan here on night two. Again, good match. Ren Narita defeated El Phantasmo. The storyline with El Phantasmo, I'm here for it. I appreciate it. They got him like a guy who's, sort of at the end of his rope. He's lost Hikuleo, his tag team partner, who at some point is going to become Tala Tonga, supposedly. That could happen tonight. Who knows? We shall see, right? But again, really good match. Evil defeated Jake Lee. Again, it's an Evil match. No disrespect. It is what it is. Yuya Uemura defeated Hiroki Goto. Goto is really hanging in there for a guy his age. I think he's 51, I believe, 49 or 51, I think. He looks great. He just looks great, man. Shota Umino defeated Shingo Takagi. Huge win for Shota. He really needed that for sure. Zack Sabre Jr. defeated Tetsuya Naito. Again, Chap gets pinned 2 nights in a row. Crazy. And in your main event, Yota Tsuji defeated David Finlay. A big win for Yota Tsuji as well. I think Zack Sabre Jr. is your odds-on favorite to win the Climax this year. A lot of people believe that, as do I. So we will see what happens. Night three, we kicked off with 3 matches that have nothing to do with the Climax tournament whatsoever. Kazuya Murashima, Toru Yano, and Oleg Boltin defeated Shoma Kato, Tomoaki Onma, and Hiroki Goto by submission. Los Ingobernables de Japón, Bushi, and Yota Tsuji defeated Guerrillas of Destiny, El Phantasmo, and Jado. United Empire of Hinare and Francesco Akira defeated the Bullet Club War Dogs, Finlay, and Gato. And then we get back to the tournament. Konosuke Takeshita defeated Jeff Cobb. Zack Sabre Jr. defeated Callum Newman. Shingo defeats Great-O-Khan. Gabe Kidd defeated Shota Umino. Evil defeats Sonata, and Tetsuya Naito defeated Jake Lee. Finally, the champ wins a match. Let's see. Zack Sabre Jr. and Callum Newman. Excellent match. Takeshita and Jeff Cobb. Well worth the price of admission. Takeshita is a beast. If all you know is Takeshita and AEW, you don't know any of his work in DDT or New Japan, I encourage you to look it up. He's a beast. He and Jeff Cobb brought the house down, in my opinion. So there you go. Night 4, we have 4 tag matches leading us off. Just 5 guys, Sonata and Taka Michinoku, defeating Katsuya Murashima and Toru Yano by submission. United Empire defeated, that's Callum Newman, Great-O-Khan, and Francesco Akira defeated Shoma Kato, Tomoaki Honma and Shota Umino by pinfall. Bullet Club War Dogs of Jake Lee and Gabe Kidd defeated TMDK of Kosei Fujita and Zack Sabre Jr. You have LIJ of Naito and Shingo defeating House of Torture, Dick Togo, and Evil by pinfall. And then back to the tournament, Hiroki Goto defeated Oleg Boltin. Let's see. Excellent match, by the way. Ren Narita defeated Jeff Cobb. Big win for Narita, beating Jeff Cobb, brother, let me tell you. El Phantasmo defeated Yota Tsuji. Big win for Phantasmo. Finally getting a win here. David Finlay defeating Henare. Again, really good match, solid match. In your main event, Yuya Uemura defeated Konosuke Takeshita. Maybe Takeshita's best match of the G1 to this point. Those two guys absolutely brought it. They absolutely brought it. So yeah, there is your full rundown of the G1 Climax to this point. And again, if you guys have not checked out the G1 Climax, I encourage you to do it. Your boy is caught up. I couldn't be prouder of myself. So that's very, very cool. Who all is here today who we have not said hello to? Wilf is here. Wilf, hope you're doing well, my friend. Thanks for hanging out. Sandy's here. Good to see you. Ray All Day has arrived. And let's see. JP is here. Good to see you, my friend. Blue Sky, yeah, it came out a few years back, a couple years back. Yeah, it's not bad. It's not bad. I like it. Let's see. JP says, I watch all things WWE, AEW, and TNA, and I want to get tickets to No Mercy Monday Night Raw the night after in Denver, Colorado. Well, there you go. Yeah, that Blood and Guts match, Brienne, was, man, instant classic. And again, I tell you that for my money, there's never been a bad Blood and Guts match. I was absolutely here for it. This thing about Darby threatening to set Jungle Boy on fire, or Jack Perry, whatever, if he didn't get the title match, that's awesome. And so good. I think Okada fit in just fine. I'm telling you. Sugar Shane's birthday is tomorrow. All right. Happy early birthday to you, my friend. Shane likes the MJF's new belt. MJF's absolutely trolling. He's trolling because of the current climate here in this country, and he knows how to get heat. So he's getting heat the way he knows how, and that's by going after people. Absolutely going after people. It's what he does. He's controversial. Can't hate him for that. Ray says Sabre is a stud, 100%. I do believe that he is going to win the G1 this year. I'm not the only guy saying that. I'm sure you've heard it other places, but I'm saying it as well. And honestly, if Yota Tsuji won, I'd be okay with that as well because they've teased that. Don't know if it'll happen, but it'd be wonderful if it did. Jeffrey says evil equals set formula, 100%. Jeffrey said, Blood and Guts, instant classic, poor ending. I disagree with you, but I can see why you feel that way. Is that fair? Because you kind of want the thing. It's a different kind of ending. You know, and honestly, does it baby out the EVPs to some degree? Maybe. Do you know what I mean? I don't know. I had that question in my head the minute the Bucks said, okay, this has gone far enough. I had that question in my head. It's like, I wonder if this is going to, not forever, but in that moment, is that a baby face move? Like, I'm going to save my buddy and my friend. You know what I mean? Where heels would technically not even care about each other. As is often the way things go in this silly pro wrestling stuff we talk about. So, yeah. But that is your G1 Climax. I am looking forward to what is to come. And by the way, speaking of what is to come, let's talk about Night 5, July 27th. And let's see. Kicking us off, we've got actually 5 tag matches because, eliminations are happening, right? And you're getting down to the wire here. Let's see here. You have the first match, Katsuya Murashima and Shomakato versus Konosuke Takeshita and Henare. And Takeshita and Henare and tagging together. That's going to be interesting. Don't you think? God, El Phantasmo, and Jado versus Toriano and Oleg Bolt. That'll be a fun throwaway match. Just 5 guys, Taka Michinoku and Yuya Uemura versus United Empire, Jeff Cobb, Francisco Akira. Something of a throwaway. I only say that because Taka's in it. No disrespect to Taka, but I'm sure it'll still be good. Bullet Club War Dogs versus House of Torture. This is Finlay and Gato versus Yoshinobu Kanemaru and Ren Narita. Probably say House of Torture is winning that, I assume. Tomoaki Honma and Hiroki Goto versus LIJ of Bushi and Yota Tsuji. And then we get back to the tournament matches. Shingo Takagi versus Callum Newman. That's going to bang right there. Sonata versus Gabe Kidd. Oh, yeah, that's going to be a good one, too. Shota Umino versus Great Khan. Should be serviceable, I would say. Last thing Shota needs, in my opinion, is, and again, I do love Great Khan, but I kind of feel like Shota needs to be showcased, you know. I mean, it's better than Evil, put it that way. Not quite sure at any given time what's happening with Shota Umino. At first, it seemed like they were strapping a rocket to him. Now, maybe not so much. Zack Sabre Jr. with Kosei Fujita versus Jake Lee. That should be an excellent bout. And then your main event, Tetsuya Naito versus Evil. I'm not looking forward to a whole lot coming out of that main event. Again, no disrespect to Evil, but man, that's a lot to kind of plow through. JP says it was a great match, and then it was like they didn't know how to finish. Oh, you're talking about Blood and Guts. Yeah, I get it. I get it. It's different. It's different. But I mean, I did enjoy the match overall. I thought it was excellent. Yeah, thought it was excellent. We're almost to the bottom of the hour. You believe that? We are 24 minutes in. Where does the time go? Where does the time go? I don't have any idea. Thanks again, kids, for hanging out with us here today. If you have not done so, please smash the like button for us and share this on your feeds. I promise not to shamelessly self-promote too awful much today because, again, as I said earlier, we got a lot to get to. And I'm trying to time it with the in this first segment here before we get into it. But here's what I'll tell you in the end about the Climax tournament. New Japan is very much in a rebuilding phase right now. They've lost a lot of their heavy hitters, of course, Okada and Ospreay and Jay White. That trilogy alone is enough to cripple a company. I'm just saying, right? But they have rebounded before. We'll just see if they can rebound now. I think lighting the fire under Oleg Boltin is a good idea. Warming up Yota Tsuji and Shota Umino, also really good moves, great moves, actually. They've got a lot of upside. They've got some really hot young talent. And again, they got Zack Sabre Jr. I keep that guy happy any way I possibly could because I think it's the right move. And again, I believe that he's going to be your G1 Climax champion this year. He's flat out said that even if he loses this year and wins next year, he will consider his career a failure, that he would have failed. That's very much, I'm sure, within character. So that kind of tells you that, you know, you can kind of, I guess you can kind of expect that he's going to finally get over the hump and win the G1 Climax this year. My prediction. We shall see what happens. But again, I'm a big fan of the G1. So proud of myself that I'm caught up. And if you folks have not checked it out, you can always see highlights on New Japan on YouTube. And you can always, you could probably find some feeds here and there if you don't want to pay the money. And I won't endorse anybody publicly, right? Because I believe, you know, creators and companies and wrestlers should get paid for their content. However, at the same time, again, people are on a budget, so I totally understand. If you want to look up streams, I'm sure you can find one that you can watch and check out the G1. So more power to you on that. Before we move on to AEW and then getting into some of the week's news, apart from Blood and Guts and Blood and Guts as well, we're going to show you this. And hang on, kids. Check this out. We'll be right back. Watch this.
Boink Studios is the home of Tom Clark's Main Event, Tom Clark's 6M podcast, and Two Nations Under Ted, a Ted Lasso podcast. Visit the site today for links to every podcast platform, social media, special announcements, and a lot more. Check out the site and bookmark today. BoinkStudios.com.
Boom, there you have it, BoinkStudios.com. Go check us out, kids. Visit the site and bookmark today, like the man said. You'll be upset and sorry if you don't. Well, know why? Because I'm taking names, okay? Taking names. And just to help everybody out here, there is the link. It's coming. There it is. Go check it out. Visit the site and bookmark today. Very, very much appreciate you. Jay's here. Jay showed up on the ad. What's up, Jay? You saw yourself. Well, you didn't see yourself, but you saw the show. And as you're welcoming Jay, kids, also welcome CRP, Christopher A. Patton. And coming soon, the Patton Review, not the Patton Report. I'm so upset. It's not. The Patton Report had such a flow. The Patton Review is fine. It's fine. But I thought the Patton Report was fire. Maria's here, everybody. Go check out Peaches and Power Bombs, and also Jay of Untitled Wrestling Podcast fame and Two Nations Under Ted, a Ted Lasso podcast. Marie says, I'm going to Dynamite on Wednesday. All right. Taking some kids who've never been to a show before. I hope you guys have a blast. Jay says, since I was mentioned. Oh, of course. Yeah. We keep it all in the family here, kids. You know how we roll. You know how we roll. Let's go ahead and start getting some opinions on this little ditty right here. As promised, a little bit of conversation about AEW's upcoming All In London. I'm curious to see what you guys think about this. What's your opinions? As of this recording today, we have 5 matches officially booked, and every one of them is a title match. Each one of them is a title match. And they're bangers. I'm going to tell you right now. You shouldn't have a problem with any of this, okay? Timeless Tony Storm defend the AEW Women's World Championship against the Glamour Mariah May. Not crazy about that nickname, but I'm crazy about Mariah May. She is fantastic. As is Tony Storm. MJF defending the AEW American Championship. Huh? What? Yeah. Okay. Against Will Ospreay. Bruv. That'll be a banger as well. Jack Perry versus Darby Allin. Singles match with AEW TNT Championship. I suspect that one's going to get a wee bloody. I'm saying. Mercedes Moné with Camille, who is now Diesel. Not really. Everyone makes that comparison, but it's what people know, right? She is apparently now a Mercedes bodyguard. We all kind of suspected that might be happening at some point. It came true. Defending the AEW TBS Championship against Dr. Britt Baker, DMD. And, of course, your world heavyweight champion, Swerve Strickland, defending against Bryan Danielson. I cannot wait to hear what everyone in the chat wants to say and wants to believe and believes about AEW All In London. Jay is going to be there. Jay, you and Faye will both be there. Faye's not here with us today. Shame on Faye. Shame on Faye. I'm jealous of you guys, man. I am. If circumstances had been different, it'd been cool to go. I may never get across the pond. Well, I shouldn't say never. You know what you can never say never about? Never. Yeah, I think this is going to absolutely be a huge night. I just, yeah, I can't wait. Sugar Shane says, going out on line right now, AEW All In London will be the pay-per-view of the year. I got to be honest with you. I'll be surprised if you're wrong. Everything's subjective, but I truly believe this is going to be a massive night for pro wrestling. Jeff says Mariah May will win, MJF will win, Mercedes will win, Swerve will win. Well, you may be right. You may be right. I may be crazy. Is it might? I've never been a big Billy Joel fan. That's just me. Marie says Tony Storm and Mariah May have carried that show over the last few months. Well, that's an interesting opinion. They should main event. I don't think they will. They could. Why couldn't they? But you know, it's back to the idea of, you know, well, they're not giving Swerve enough platform. They're not doing enough for their world champ. He's being treated as a second-class citizen with the world title. So if you don't run him in the main event in that England show, it's going to semi-main, you know what I mean? I'm an old school cat, and I have always believed your world championship should be the last match on the card. There's exceptions. There's different type of themed events you can do, gimmick matches and whatnot, blood and guts, war games, match beyond, stuff like that. You can't really follow those matches, right? So I totally get it, but that's why you don't book those matches on the same night as a title match. You know what I mean? There's ways out of every hole. You just got to have the right shovel. But I don't disagree with you at all. It does deserve main event spot, 100%. But again, are you doing Swerve any favors if that happens? Ray says Perry has to lose. He's pest, and Mercedes, aka HBK, should lose. I don't think either one of those is going to happen, but you could be right. Jay says we should have had Swerve versus Hangman, a dog collar match. Oh, I am so here for that. That match took years off Greg Valentine and Roddy Piper's lives. They both would tell you that too. Swerve versus Bryan will be incredible. Totally agree. JP says they're not going to let Danielson win the title with him going part-time or retiring. Never say never, Jeff. You might be right. You could be right in the end. I don't know. But, there's always a way out of it. Again, you just gotta have the right booking. And, does Danielson want the championship? Does he really want it? Is it more about the chase than it is about him actually winning it? Ray says May should win. I wish I was going. London is awesome. Same here. Jay says you better get here so we can go to the Greyhound. I desperately want to go to London. If for no other reason because of the Ted Lasso show. Ray says he's going. Man, you, Ray, and your family travel. I am so jealous. Thailand. Wonderful. Man. Shut up. Maria says All In is a WrestleMania of AEW. Agreed. Totally agree. That's how they portray it, right? Great talk about AEW, kids. Keep this coming. I appreciate you. Maria says Tony is the best female character in wrestling. I've been saying that for almost a calendar year now. So I agree. JP says Strickland and Danielson will headline the show. Maybe. That's how I feel. How long is Jay out? Have you heard? I have not, but supposedly it's a while. I don't know what that means. I'm sorry. I wish I had something better for you. Chad, too bad. But I don't. They are getting hit with some injuries at the wrong time for sure. There's never a good time for injuries, let's be honest. But especially now. CRP says, honestly, as far as story goes, they have carried AEW as there are no other true stories. I disagree with you. But I'm telling you, the ladies are killing it. Ladies deserve all the credit in the world. I think one of the things that's happening with the stories from the guys and whatnot is that they don't get distracted. The booking gets everyone distracted because they'll start something and 2 weeks later they haven't gone back to it. There's things that get left hanging. And again, I talked to Phil about this, and I think we may have mentioned on the episode last week on number 340, but I think some of it has to do with there's just not a unifying voice backstage. And we all thought and assumed that Tony Khan was going to be that voice. I honestly don't think it is. And that's not to say he's doing anything wrong necessarily. But in my opinion, could there be a unifying voice? You know what? For all we know, they already have it. For all we know, he meets regularly with Malenko and Danielson and maybe Mox. We're all just assuming it's just Khan in a broom closet with the door locked and demanding no one bother him while he writes storylines. We don't know any of that. We're just guessing. What if he already has people advising him and this is what we're getting? I'm just putting it out there. There's no excellent answers right now, dude. Maria says Mercedes versus Britt, Willow versus Chris, and Tony versus Mayor. Excellent stories. Enough with no stories for women. With excellent enough. Yeah. Oh, yeah, for sure. Yeah. Willow versus Chris, especially. JP says, Bang Bang Gang has injury bug. Once someone gets back, someone else gets hurt. Yeah, they seem doomed. Through no fault of their own. Jay says, I think Swerve versus Hanger dog collar happens at Wrestle Dream or Full Gear. Couldn't agree. Man, I hope you're right. I couldn't agree more. I would love to see that. Ray says you like the MJF angle being more like the presidential. Yeah. I can't say I like it, but I know what they're doing. We said that when we kicked the show off here today. Pretty sure that's what we're talking about. And it's smart to a degree. Do I want to see that stuff repeated in my entertainment? Not so much. But it's MJF. He's great at getting heat that way. You know what I mean? Jeffrey says, if you do not want a championship, then why are you in wrestling? That's what Steve Austin and a host of other people have always said. If you're in the title for any or in the business for any other reason to get the world title, why are you in the business? I can't say I disagree with that at all. Maria says, hey man, it's going to cost Swerve the championship like Austin did to Hart for WrestleMania 13. Could be. Jay says, you anti-wrestling podcast is a Mariah May household. For sure. Is Daniel Garcia hurt, Ray says. Is he hurt? Jay, I'll throw it to you. Jay said that Jay White is not a major injury. Boy, I heard incorrectly on that. Oh, it's storyline only. Shut up. Is it? That is not what I heard. But you may be right. Maria, if we knew when Ricky Starks was coming back, we would sure tell you. Because, man, they've kept that thing under wraps forever. Marie is plugging the show. I'll let her plug it. Don't forget the best preview show every Wednesday. TRWC Tailgate Party with Ray All Day and Majestic Marie. There you go. You heard it here first. CRP says Samoa Joe out until past October, I think, for Twisted Metal. I can't wait for season 2. Twisted Metal. I love that show. Are you saying Jay White's contract is up? Is that what you're saying? About already? What kind of contract did Jay White sign? That's crazy. CRP says, what's the other actual long-running story? Hangman and Swerve. Hangman and Swerve. I'm here for the disagreement, but I can't. I don't think it's disagreement. I mean, it's just differing points of view. I can't think of one offhand other than MJF come back, Matt Ospreay with no build, basically. See, that's the problem. I can name things, but there you could push back, and everybody can on, yes, Tom, but they don't handle it properly. And I can't argue that because oftentimes they don't. There'll be the germ of a good idea, a feud that makes a lot of sense, and what we know they're wanting to do, but then you look at the execution and you're like, it's not great. That's the problem. Therein lies the problem. Honestly. When Adam Cole is healthy, should he join the Elite since the Devil storyline is dead? Why not? I actually really like that. Man, that whole stable, with the exception of Okada, is dudes with long brown hair and a beard. I'm just saying, they've got to look, don't they? Sugar Shane says Kenny Omega comes back with the Don Callis family and jumps the Elite. Or did you mean to say Don Callis family? Oh, Garcia is fine storyline. There you go. And Jay, to your point, what happened? What was it they said about Garcia backstage a few weeks ago? He was quickly becoming the heart and soul of AEW. Remember that? I brought it up here on the show and people went. Remember when you heard it said? You all went, me too. What? Double take. Where is he now? What happened? What's the plan? Look, something huge may happen Wednesday. Something huge may happen Wednesday. I don't know. He could come out and help Jericho of all people. Who knows? But right now, none of it seems to make a lot of sense. I don't know. You know, again, I don't like to call it until things happen. You know, give things time to breathe and whatnot. I'm a believer in that. I truly am. However, if you're going to tell me with a straight face that Danny Garcia is becoming the heart and soul of AEW, and then you do nothing with him 3 weeks later, he's off TV, what are we doing? What is that exactly? Hey, I don't ride for them. I don't have a dog in the hunt. Just telling you what I think, man. Maria says, love MJF, but talking about dead family members is getting a little cringe for me. I can understand. I can understand. But, it all goes back to who's comfortable with you saying something. If the family signs off on things, you know what I mean, here and there, and they know it's coming ahead of time, you're right. It seems a little and a little, kind of creepy, right? Kind of feel like you need a shower after the Christian promos. Like, I can't take it anymore. I love Christian, don't get me wrong. But now he's got his son is talking about Nick Wayne talking about, I know your dad's dead, but hey, guess what? We don't care. Blah, whatever. I can understand that. Marie also says Camille is going to be a face in the AEW women's division. Camille has absolutely never looked better. Camille is cut straight out of a tan granite. I don't know what that means. She's cut out of granite and then has been tanned. That better? Effing fantastic. Look at her, man. Are you kidding me? I'm telling you right now. Ooh. Remember when she first came into NWA and she was green? We're going back now a little ways. Man, light years from where she was then to what she is now. For sure. Maria says Jericho take a break from TV for a little while to let us miss him. Well, I got to tell you there, Maria, when it comes to the man known as Chris Jericho, most people have this to say.
Hot garbage.
Now, I'm not saying I do. In fact, I'm the guy a few weeks ago on this very show who posited the idea that the Jericho stuff was actually starting to get over. And you know what a lot of people said to me?
Hot garbage.
And you know what? To this day, I don't know if I made the right call. Because it's hard to watch, even harder to listen. Did you see how Suzuki opened up his chest on Wednesday? Horror movie in that ring, dude. Ooh, yikes. All for Jericho to win. It is what it is. I mean, what do you guys think about the Jericho stuff, man? Is it time to take this cat off TV? Does he even want to go off TV? What's the plan? Is there a plan? Is all this just exactly what everyone's been telling me for 2 months? Right?
Hot garbage.
Up to you. By the way, kids, we are 15 minutes away from wrapping up for the weekend. So we're going to go ahead and take steps to start making things happen. Let's go ahead and open the floor. And within this open floor, whatever current news you guys want to talk about, trending topics, we'll hit you with a couple things right now. Triple H having discussions, WWE having discussions, talking about possibly bringing WrestleMania to London. Jay, are you there? You got to be happy about that, Jay. That would be sweet, right? Where would they run? Would it be Wembley? I'm just saying. We also, let's see, Meiko Satomura challenge for WWE Women's title at Tokyo House Show. That's been confirmed today. Jon Moxley has been given time off from AEW. And we don't know how long it's going to be. But I'm going to tell you right now that if anyone in that company has earned some time off, it is absolutely John by God Moxley. I promise you that. Okay? For sure. For the next TNA Impact, Nick Nemeth will defend his newly won TNA World Heavyweight Championship against Mustafa Ali. So that should be a banger right there. By the way, what do you guys think about the Hurt Business potentially coming to AEW? We've heard rumors this week. We don't know if any of it's true. We have no idea. But I'm curious to see what you guys think. Maria says, Froth reported that WBD and AEW hit a little snag. Is there cause for concern for us AEW? I don't think so. I've said this repeatedly since all this, new contract TV contract TV deal stuff started. Something major would have to happen for this company to be in real dire straits. Now, losing TV, that would do it. But I still don't know if that would be the end. You see what I'm saying? Look, whatever this snag is, WBD needs, I'm sure, assurances that they're making a wise investment. And if a company, whether it's AEW or the NBA or whoever, if those assurances can't be made, the deal is going to be tougher to work out. This is just Tom talking. Maybe there's nothing like that happening at all, but I assume that's what's going down. I assume that's what's going down. Don't be worried about anything until you have a reason to be, right? Don't be too concerned until you know better. That's my motto, my mantra. Triple H has sounded off on potential Brock Lesnar and WWE return. Quote, would be open to the conversation, end quote. Once again, kids, this is a major, major moment for that company because, once again, certain people not really good at reading the room. Okay? Especially as it pertains to Brock and the dude that used to run that company. Read the room. Okay? Maybe no comment at this time. You know what I'm saying? I mean, we've seen people get second chances so many times in this business. And we try not to fault people too awful much. These are grown men. They have disagreements, they have fallings out. People are they're not perfect, they're human. I totally get it. This is not one of those instances. This is a heck of a lot more than anything like that. Okay? Honestly. And we're talking about bringing this guy back? Come on. Read the room. Read the room. I don't know. Maria says, I would love to see the Hurt Business in AEW. That'd be something if we saw them in that company. We'll see. And, there's been talk about, who owns the name. MVP trying to get the name at one point. Don't know if he has. By the way, kids, for some reason, I'm not seeing comments right now. I'm going to have to check into that and find out what's going on. So I'm having to look at the Facebook. So if you're seeing your comments not being addressed, that's why you're not seeing it. But I'm going to try to catch up right now. Let's see, Ray. Rob Bass or Biz Marquee. I'll go Rob Bass. And Part 2 Digital Underground or EPMD. I'll go EPMD, believe it or not. And if Adam Cole invited you to the grand opening of the Adam Cole Marvel Comics store, where he gave you a free comics of your choice to keep and get an extra one to give to a friend, could I have? Yes. And later wanted to get dinner, which included grilled chicken with a tasty salad and chocolate chip cookie. Could I please join as well? This question. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Again, kids, apologies for the comments not showing up here. Very odd. But I'm looking at the Facebook trying or attempting to answer your questions as I see them. So again, apologies on that. I imagine it's StreamYard acting wonky as it has been known to do in the past. Let's see here. What else we got? CRP says, to be fair, innocent until proven guilty. That's fair. That response and facts after that initial filing has made that whole lawsuit super weird. It's all terrible. I wouldn't bring him back for perspective if I'm playing devil's advocate. Yeah, that's fair. And look, that company will bring him back. They've done weirder stuff than that. Way weirder stuff than bringing back Brock Lesnar after all the talk of what happened, or supposedly happened, allegedly happened. You're not wrong. So yeah, honestly, yeah, he'll be brought back. Jeffrey JP says, kiss again. Apologies on the comments, folks. JP says, Brock needs to retire. Does he ever need to work again? I don't know that he does. But you know what? I don't handle the man's money. Who knows? I brought myself up on the Facebook, so I muted it so I could see your comments. E, I know you're here, but I don't see you in the chat. I see you on the Facebook. Jay, Ring of Honor, Death Before Dishonor tonight. Thank you, Jay. I'm so glad you brought that up. I had a window open and have lost it somewhere, and I was going to cover it today. Let's see. Here we go. Going to be a good show tonight, too, kids, by the way. Let's talk about that one real quick. We have, let's see. Man, I'm telling you, well, we have M&M collection. M&M collection. What do they call themselves? Mason, Madden, and Mansoor versus to be announced. Hey, Commander versus the Beast Mortos. You know, here's the thing: when they bring people in like that, like remember when Commander was getting all the headlines and stuff, and then they did this weird Gravity. Well, they did Gravity. That was weird. And now they did. Was it Hologram? I guess. What are we doing? Like, I love the luchadors. Don't misunderstand me. But like, where's Hologram now? You see what I'm saying? What's going on? What are we doing? I don't know. That's just me. That's just me being nitpicky. Dustin Rhodes and the Von Erichs, Marshall and Ross with Kevin Von Erich versus Dark Order, RH World Six-Man Tag Team Championship Eliminator match. I think it's going to be a fun bout, kids. Diamante versus Layla Hirsch. They're going to tear the house down with that Texas Death match for sure. Wheeler Yuta versus Lee Moriarty. Pure Wrestling Rules for RH Pure Championship. I got a shocker for you. You may not be feeling this. I say put over Lee Moriarty. Let's go. What are we doing? Let's go. That's just me talking. Then Undisputed Kingdom, Matt Taven and Mike Bennett versus the Conglomeration. The Conglomeration! I can't do it without sounding like Mark Briscoe. Kyle Riley and Tomohiro Ishii. Tag team match for RH World Tag Team Championship. I don't see the Undisputed Kingdom losing them, but wouldn't it be fun if they did? Billy Starks versus Red Velvet, RH Women's World Television Championship. Atlantis Jr. versus Leo Rush versus Shane Taylor versus Brian Cage versus Lee Johnson versus Johnny TV. Survival of the Fittest match for RH World Television Championship. Yeah, that's going to be interesting. See how that plays out. Athena versus Queen Aminata. Singles match for the RH World Women's Championship. And in your main event, Mark Briscoe defending the RH World Heavyweight Championship against Roderick Strong. Thanks, Jay, for that friendly reminder. Let's see here, boy. I'm trying to get caught up on your comments here. He's saying Adam Cole's a bum. Boy, you're going to have some heat for that one, brother, let me tell you. Let's see here. I'm not going to address your other comment because you're just mean. Sugar Shane says, are y'all going to watch the Olympics? I'm not an Olympics guy. Like, I hope everyone is safe and competes well. And I hope, of course, have some country pride and stuff. I hope that, we clean up. That'd be fun. But like, am I a fan? Not a huge fan. I got a lot of mad respect for those athletes, I'll tell you, but not a huge fan of the Olympics. So I probably will not be watching if I'm being straight with you. CRP says I'd be okay with Brock coming back for a Heyman book match against a babyface Reigns like next Mania. That might work. Jay says, in regards to what you asked Mania in London, what will happen for a while? You're a top branch, and the Jericho Megaverse is strong. Very good. How many Manias do they already have planned? Don't they go at least like 5 years out or something? I think they usually go quite a far ways out on that. MXM, is that what it is? CRP says most of the Machine Guns and negotiation contracts still, even though we were told that was done with AEW back in April, but apparently talking to WWE, I think they're going to WWE. That's what a lot of the word coming out is they're doing a farewell tour on the indie circuit, Chris. And as you know, you don't do that unless you're signed with WWE because they're not going to let you work, Big Joe's Pro Wrestling in Toledo next week. You know what I mean? They're just not going to let you do it. So, like, yeah. Was Hologram last week, Jay? He was. He was. Yeah, Jay. I knew that. Yeah, Moriarty for sure. Again, apologies for trying to get caught up here. Who wins, Strong or Briscoe? I'll be honest with you. I'd give it to Roddy. I mean, Mark Briscoe is on the main event of Blood and Guts. Just leave Mark on AEW programming. He can always win that title back from him. You know what I mean? That's just me talking. Sugar Shane says, what sports commentator that is not affiliated with wrestling would you like to see commentate a wrestling show? Great question. I don't know. I really don't know. Excellent question. I wish I had a good answer for you, man, but I really don't have one. Interesting. CRP said, I wonder what happened with that deal because as far as I recall, it was done in April with AEW. That's what I heard too. I don't know, man. Yeah. Interesting. And there again, folks, we are up at the top of the hour here, and the comments have been a nightmare today. Hopefully, this won't happen next week. Maria says, would you rather see Rock versus Roman or Rock versus Cody at the next WrestleMania? It'll be Rock and Cody at next year's Mania, in my humble opinion. I think that's what you're going to see. And I sure don't want it to be a combination of all three. If I had my druthers, I would not want to all three. Jay says, Chris and Arlo from Ted Lasso. You know what? We're going to end on that. We're going to end on that. Great answer. All right, kids, there you have it. Tom Clark's Main Event, episode 341, is officially in the books. I got to thank everybody for tuning in here today. I want to thank you for sharing the show. I want to thank you for liking, subscribing, and commenting. Remember, boinkstudios.com. Also, your boy is on Substack now. You know what Substack is? It's a place whereas I get to write. I get to write, and guess what? It's good for my soul that I write, okay? So I wrote a piece today. I just haven't published it yet. I'm trying to get myself back in the routine of being a writer, which I've always described myself as being a writer. I'm trying to get back in that frame of mind. It's some of the stuff on Substack, depending on what writers you follow, there's behind a paywall. I have no paywall yet. I don't know if I plan to do one. If I do, it may not happen anytime soon. So everything I have is free. Just go to substack.com. In fact, before you guys get out of here, if you're so inclined and you would like to check me out, I'll drop it here in the chat. Hopefully, you can see it. So there you go. Hopefully, that'll come up for you. And if that doesn't work, let me know. Here, I'll copy this other link here just to be on the safe side. Oh, here we go. Here's the link, kids. My apologies. Substack.com/@TomClarkPods, PODS. That there is my Substack. Please go check it out and like and subscribe. And actually, you can only check me on the website. If you put in your email, you get delivered directly to your email. We're not going to spam you, okay? Your information is not being stolen or sold or anything. And I don't have your email in front of me. I don't get to see that. So you don't have to worry about me blowing up your email. But every time I post, you'll get a notification in your inbox. So if you're so inclined, go check me out. That'd be awesome of you if you did that. So I appreciate you. All right, kids. I am officially getting out here now. Thanks again, everybody, for hanging out with me. Do me a favor. Go enjoy your weekend. I appreciate everybody very much. Thanks for being patient with us here today, folks. And again, thanks for liking and subscribing. Visit boinkstudios.com and check out my other podcasts, Tom Clark's 6M podcast and Two Nations Under Ted Lasso podcast. I appreciate you very much. We'll see you next time. Kids, have a great weekend. See you next Friday. Have a great one, folks. See you soon.